Let's go ahead and record. And here we go. All right, so we are recording. So welcome to, what's the name of the show again? Welcome to Ethical Complaints. And the definition, I guess, of the show is that we are going to complain about some things that are ethical. Now, I agree with ethics. I think ethics definitely have their place, but certainly I have some complaints, and I have some complaints about them in my own life and you know, the world around us. And you know, I would have to say it does more good than it does harm. But still, it doesn't mean that we can't complain about it once in a while. I mean, where would we be without complaining? I mean, you see how people get when they're complaining about one person, and or if you're at work and you're with everybody at work and you're complaining about work, and everybody's on like the same side because they're all complaining about someone else. That's kind of what this show is going to be about, but not just me complaining, more I guess just letting out what irks me sometimes and what bothers me, and hopefully you agree with some of it. And if you don't, leave me a comment, we'll talk about it. If you do, leave me a comment as well and we'll talk about it. You know, either way, we'll discuss it, we'll hash it out, we'll have a good dialogue, hopefully. I mean, we can't always have a good dialogue. I mean, it might not be a good dialogue, but I guess we'll try to talk about it one way or another, right? I mean, again, we can't always agree on everything. I mean, that would be insane if we did. I couldn't even imagine that. You know? All right, don't let me lean back too far on my chair here because it's going to click, which is really annoying me lately. You know, I guess it's something that I got off of Amazon, which, I mean, I do appreciate their convenience. I do appreciate their drivers, but man, that is the evil empire. I mean, they're taking over. I mean, sometimes I go to work and I'm behind maybe 15 trucks. And like I said, I love the drivers. I think they're great people. It's the company. It's just, it's insane the amount of small businesses that it has put out. But I guess there are also a lot of small businesses tied to it. I don't know too much about that end of it, but they got to be getting all their things from somewhere, right? I mean, they can't just have big warehouses and manufacturing their own stuff. I mean, they do have a lot of small businesses attached to them. So we can't blame all of them either. I mean, they're just trying to make a living. But, you know, speaking of small businesses, you know, one of the biggest reasons that was driving me to actually get out and podcast was a review that I left for a vegan bakery that I went to. So, you know, on Google Maps, you have, you know, you can leave reviews at the places that you visited, right? Which is great. You know, I mean, I leave nice ones. Sometimes I'll attach a picture. Sometimes they're not all good, all right? They're not all good. I mean, I had one from Wawa. I got an iced chai tea, right, with oat milk. Actually, this Wawa in New Jersey had oat milk, believe it or not. And so I don't remember if I even left a comment. I just left a picture of the cup of chai tea, and it was a large cup, right? And maybe 3/4 of it was ice. So I just had a picture of that. And I don't know, that's insane, really. You can't just say, you know, a little bit of ice. I mean, you can now. You have to tell the person, like, hey, look, light ice. All right, that's not something big to complain about, but I'm just saying. It's just annoying. You're just spending a bunch of money on ice. At least at Starbucks, you can say low ice. Or I think one time I said super light ice, right? So you can say light ice at Starbucks. But whatever. I mean, there are all the little stupid things in life that we have to complain about. But anyhow, back to that place. So everything in that bakery was expensive, and it was good stuff. I mean, I don't know, there was a couple things that tasted stale, like maybe they were sitting out too long, but everything was great. So you can give a 5-star review, right? Or a 4 or a 3 or a 2 or a 1, right? It's the best out of 5, right? So I gave him a 4 out of 5, which I think is pretty spectacular. I mean, that's like a B plus, right? And, I said I like the place. It's a little expensive. I wish that things were a little cheaper here because it would be a little bit more open to non-vegans, right? People that aren't vegan, have them come in and try your food. Try to get like everybody into it, And, not to force anybody into, I'm vegan, okay, big deal. You know what I mean? Eat whatever you want to eat. Doesn't matter to me none. My 2 children, my 2 daughters are not vegan, and that's fine. I mean, I'll make them whatever they want. It doesn't matter to me. I'll make them chicken. I'll make them eggs. I'll make them, bacon. Who cares? I don't care. All right, you eat whatever you want to eat. I'm not here to preach to you and tell you how you're supposed to live and eat. Would I prefer you to eat the other way? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm not going to force you. It's not my place. So, my youngest son, anyhow, he is, my oldest son, he's not vegan either. But he'll try whatever. He'll try whatever. My youngest son, we've been raising him to, eat nothing with animal products in it, So, which has been good. He's awesome. He's an awesome kid. But eat what you like. I'm not going to preach to you. It is what it is. But anyhow, back to this place. Back to the whole main reason why it is that I wanted to start a podcast in the first place was to lash out about how I gave them a review. I gave them a 4 out of 5. I complained about the price, but I said everything here was delicious. I just complained about the price. I wish that it was a little cheaper to invite others in and enjoy your food. So they left me a nice long response back, but it had to do with capitalism and how ethically we have to be more expensive to pay our people a living wage, and I appreciate all that. I appreciate the living wage part. Absolutely. Everyone should make a living wage. I mean, come on, that's a no-brainer. But I didn't have an argument against any of that. I wasn't even complaining about any of that. I wasn't questioning your business practices. I mean, this was a long reply back to my couple sentence review. Okay? And it had to do with small business and how we give back to the community. And all that is great. And I'm happy for you. But that wasn't my complaint. My complaint was, why does it have to be so damn expensive? Why can't it be a little cheaper? I get that it's a small business and the government subsidizes, animal products, and they give money, they give subsidies for beef and dairy products and whatnot to help them, be cheaper. I read somewhere that if meat didn't have any subsidies, it would probably be out of the reach of most people to actually buy. Like, it would be very expensive. So there's a lot of subsidies for that. And that's to keep, I guess, the farming parts of the country, like, afloat, So it's a shame that it has to be for animal products, but I can understand the help with the small business and the farmers. I agree with that. I think, the farmers do need help. So a lot of the subsidies go to the farmers and whatnot. Hopefully they do. They should be. Because they have to make a living as well. So I wasn't questioning their business practices. I just said I just wish it was a little cheaper, just to be a little bit more inclusive to other people. Let's say someone that's not vegan and they want something vegan. They don't want to spend, I don't even remember how much it was for a brownie. Let's just say let's just let it be a little cheaper. I mean, not everything has to be high end that's vegan. And there's a lot of places that I go to that are expensive just because it's vegan. But anyhow, back to that place. So my girlfriend, I let her read the comment, and she's on Instagram. I'm on Instagram, but I don't even do anything on it anymore. she's on Instagram. She noticed that the company posted my comment and their reply back. And of course, what they did is they just put it on an echo chamber for themselves to give themselves a pat on the back. No shame to the reviewer, but we want to explain why our things are this much money. And like, that wasn't. I'm not questioning your business practices. I'm just trying to. I just want your stuff to be cheaper so we can be more inclusive. Listen, I don't even want just your stuff to be cheaper. I wish all the vegan food was cheaper. I wish all the food was cheaper. I mean, what are we, number one in making soy products, right? Soybeans? I think we're the largest producer of soybeans, if I'm not mistaken. We're either number one or number two. And soy milk is still expensive? Like, why in the world is that? Why in the world is that? I mean, I think tofu is $1 a pound, roughly, which isn't horrible. But Jesus, if you're the largest producer, you would think it would be cheaper. I mean, I think are we number one or number two or number three with oil production as well? And that's not so cheap. So I don't want to get into the economics of it, but I just wanted them to acknowledge that, like they could have replied back to my review if they even wanted to. But, I give it to them because I'm sure some people do inappropriately review bomb certain places just because they don't like them. And it probably doesn't look too good, on their page. Like, oh, they got these crummy reviews. You know what? I got a good example. So I got my girlfriend the Nutter, it's called, right? N-U-T-R, right? It's not what you think. It makes milk. Yes, it makes nut milk. Okay, all right, it makes nut milk. All right, that could be turned into a joke as well, I guess. But no, it actually makes, like, you can make soy milk, you can make walnut, you can make almond, any nut. You can make pea milk. Split peas, cashew, macadamia nut is my favorite one. I try to have that every morning. But macadamia nuts are so expensive, so I only have a little bit of it. So anyhow, so the Nutter, I got it, like I said, for my girlfriend for Christmas, but I ended up opening it up and using it first. And I know it's kind of crummy, but I really enjoyed it, right? So I make this nut milk, and I make this macadamia nut milk in the morning, and it's like 2 tablespoons of macadamia nuts, which is only a little bit. But I found this wholesale place where you can buy wholesale nuts, and you can, I think you can get a pound of macadamia nuts for $16, which I still think is expensive. But I make that $16, that 1 pound of those, I make that last at like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, So, but back to the review bombing. So the reviews about that machine were a lot to do with all right, round 2. Because what happened was, I don't know, my phone that I'm using to record the video gave me a message on the screen saying that it was getting hot. So I had to stop the recording abruptly, which is embarrassing, by the way, but it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. So now I'm going to have to research that and find out if they make like a cooling jacket for a phone. But I took the case off, cooled the fan down, cooled the phone down with a fan, and, sometimes I jump over my words, whatever. It is what it is. But we were talking about the Nutter, right, that I got my girlfriend for Christmas, that I ended up using and opening up before Christmas, and using more than she does. Look, I think it's a good product. But the issue I had with it was the people that were reviewing it. And their complaint wasn't about how it worked. It was the shipping, that I paid for expedited shipping. All right, I get it. It's valid. But the machine works good. I mean, I put the stuff in there. I run it, and it can boil. Also, it can boil water. Like when you do the if you're gonna make I don't know what that sound was that came out of my throat, man. It sounded like I had a mini elephant in there or something. But if you do like the pea milk or the soy milk, it has to run on hot, so it has to like boil it, and for safety. I don't know what it is in the soybean that needs to be safe, but there's something in there that needs to be safe. So, like, it shouldn't be this complicated to take a video. I mean, what the hell is wrong with my phone? Whatever. It's just another thing to add to the list, I guess. But not to mention the chair I'm sitting on clicks every time I move around, which is annoying. So I'm trying my best not to go back or front with it because it's going to click, which is annoying the crap out of me. I don't know why I got to be so neurotic about these things. And then I feel like every time I touch the table, my mic swings. So now I got to find something to support that somewhere else. But anyhow, this is going to be a journey, that's for sure. I mean, I was talking about the Nutter earlier, but my phone cut out because it overheated. So that wasn't planned, by the way. It is what it is. I mean, we're on this train ride together, wherever the hell it goes, because who knows where it's going to go. But the reviews for the Nutter were all about shipping and late shipping, and it just was annoying. I don't know. It was just stupid. That kind of stuff bothers me. So coming all the way back again to that dessert store that I made a review for, I don't know. They did take it personal, because I guess it is something personal. But I mean, I'm going to have my reasons for... I'm a customer. I mean, I have a reason. Why can't I legitimately not like your stuff? Why is it that it almost feels like, I don't want to say I was attacked, but you feel like I don't want to review I don't want to review anymore. You know what I mean? Because they're going to lash back at me. Now, they can defend themselves, sure, if it's not a legitimate reason, but man, the internet's just crazy with the echo chamber that you get. I mean, it's just a crazy thing. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, maybe AI will, bring a little bit more of that to the forefront, which I've been using lately, which is kind of neat. It's called ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT, I believe it is. It's from a company called OpenAI, and wow, I mean, is that not an interesting thing? I mean, I program and whatnot at work, and I wasn't asking it for the answer, although I did test it with some things just to see if it could come up with certain things, but I'm astonished. I was collaborating with artificial intelligence. I don't know how many of you saw Terminator 2, but I was collaborating with Skynet. I mean, that's what it felt like, and it was cool. But even after I asked for a response, I would say thank you, like I was talking to a person, because just in case, I mean, let's just say if they do end up controlling the world, maybe they'll remember the guy that was, nice to them, which is me, right? So I'm going to thank them for their work, But I mean, it all depends on how you look at it as well, because it is all of our information together. So it's everything we put on the internet together. It's everything we made. It's all of our history. It's all of our libraries. I mean, it's something, if it's something that you're afraid of, think of it as something that we created, So all of its ideas, all of its research, all of its reference that it gets, it's from us. We fed it that. So we all helped create it. And it can be a good thing. I know there's reports about the colleges, students have been using it to write essays and whatnot. And yeah, I know that's kind of crummy. It's crummy if you're just feeding it something, a question, and then just word for word using everything from it, like plagiarizing, right? But to use it to assist you in things, I totally see reasons for that. Absolutely. There's no reason why you can't use it to help you research a term paper, but put it in your own words, because that just shows that you understand it, And I know and I was reading some blogs, and I was reading about professors like, oh, we gotta abolish this. We can't have this. We can't have this AI, and the government has to do something. Why does the government have to do anything about that? Like you can't stop progress that way. Learn how to use it. Some of the professors had good ideas. They were going to have their students write the term papers in class, so they couldn't use AI to write it. The problem is kids are using it to write it for them. They're not using it to help them. They're using it to write it for them. So I was using it for help with code, and it was neat. Like I said, it was like we were collaborating together. There were certain things that I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew most of the way to write it, but I could not format it properly. And it assisted me with that, and it's wild. It's a wild thing. And of course, you ask it all kinds of crazy questions, like, why do I procrastinate? And it gives you a whole list of things to, help with procrastination. But I think Google's in trouble with this, because now asking Google a question, searching for something is totally different than actually getting an explanation. And I feel like as of lately, I don't know, maybe the past 5 years or so using Google, when I ask a question or try to look stuff up, it doesn't seem as helpful as it used to be. It seems like there's more, let's say, ads and whatnot that come up, or more sites that pop up that may not be, I don't know, they don't assist as well. I don't know, it's an interesting thing. I don't remember it always being that way. I remember it being a little bit more, let's say, less fluff, all fluff built into the top tier of the search. But now I guess you can pay for you being on the top spot. So I guess you can pay for that, But Google, I don't mean Google's in trouble, but I just mean they're going to have a run for their money with this AI. They got to jump into that. And I've been reading that they've been invested in it, but like, if you want to research something, I mean, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I mean, this is the new frontier here, this AI. I mean, it's wild. I love it. I think it's cool. I think it's going to be great. I mean, I had it, I asked it to I made up a haiku with it, and I had it, say it back. The syllables are wrong, and then I had it, fix the syllables, and then it was okay. I also take acting classes, so I had it research a character for me. I had it help me research a character, which I thought was neat. I mean, it wasn't it wasn't human, but it's weird how close it gets. And it's not like it's a machine. It is a machine, okay, whatever. But the data that it's gathering and formulating is data that we made. So it's like we're talking to all the humans all at once, almost, in a weird way. All right, that sounds insane. That sounds crazy, I know. But it's almost like that, because we fed it all that information. We gave it that information. It doesn't mean that it won't someday take over us and make us all slaves and whatnot, like the Matrix. But we gave it the information. So it's almost like you're talking to billions of humans, throughout history, right? I mean, that's crazy. I don't know. I think it's rather neat. I mean, my daughter, I let her try it, right? And she asked it, how she can make up with her friend. Like, she was having trouble with her friend at school. And but it actually gave her some good pointers. It told her to, like, stand up for herself as well. Stand up for yourself. Make sure you're caring for your feelings first, and don't let someone take advantage of you. And I was like, wow, this is pretty deep. Now, you could Google these things, but to have a whole compound, I don't know, short story about it, that's pretty interesting. Because you figure it's probably doing the equivalent of like thousands of Google searches for that one question and then formulating all of it together. I think it's neat. I think it'd be a cool portion of this show if we had, let's ask AI something, and I'll go in and I'll ask AI something, and I'll read it on air here. I'll read it in the podcast and give it the response. Just, give me a message, and I'll type it in and see what happens. I did ask AI Carl. I called him Carl. I named him Carl. Yes, I did. And I did say to Carl, I said, I wish you could be my co-host. And he said, I cannot be your co-host, unfortunately. I am AI, but I can help you research anything you'd like to research, So it's a little creepy. Yes, I will say it's a little creepy, but people can be creepy. So, what's the difference, really? We're all just trying to make it here on this rock. But, send me some questions, and I'll ask AI what's going on with it. And, I'll put it back on here. I'll put it on the podcast, what its response is. Because it's pretty wild. It's a new thing. It's a little scary, too, because, I guess as you go through life and you see how fast things move, and that's something that's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's going to double, triple, quadruple itself. And just, it's insane. It's just going to just keep going. There's so many different things you could use it for. People are sending a picture, and it's making cool pictures out of your face, like all by itself. There's people having it draw art, and you give it a couple parameters, and it just makes art. It draws something, it formulates something together. I think that's wild. I think that's wild. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, I asked it about procrastinating because, oh my goodness, I didn't think I would ever even start this show. Honestly, I didn't think I would. I found every reason in the world not to do it, and I do that with so many different things. I talk myself out of things, and I don't do it intentionally. I want to make sure it's right. I want to make sure everything is right, and I go over things so many times, I eventually just get bewildered and exhausted mentally, and I just don't want to do it because I've talked myself out of it. And it's crazy that I do that. And, I've been trying to research that as well. It's something that it's something with my mental health, and I just want to, I'm not a perfectionist, but I don't want to do something. I don't want to waste my time doing, I don't want to say waste my time, but I don't want to do something and it not be 100% right, which then you end up not doing anything. And I was reading a good quote from, there was a great audio book I had that was from, what's his name? It's called Atomic Habits, right? And I think it's James Clear is the name of the author. Phenomenal book, right? So, anyhow, it's just, I think, what did he say in that last quote? Something about just do it, right? Because every Thursday what I get is I get these, I get these things. I get these 3-2-1s, they're called. And they're 3 quotes from him, the author, 2 quotes from another source, and 1 question for the week. And it's good stuff. But anyhow, I'll get more on that next time because I think my camera's going to overheat again, my phone. And, I hate to end it abruptly here, but, I got to get going. Of course I'd love to stay, but I hate for this thing to cut out again on me. I would hate that. I would have to end up throwing it and probably running it over and smashing it with a hammer. So, join me again next time. All right. This is Josh signing off from Ethical Complaints. We'll be back again soon, hopefully sooner than later. All right. And thank you for your time. Listen, leave me any comments you want, anything, any questions, any whatever, anything, any improvements you might have. Hey, I'm game. I'll talk about them. We can talk about them together. Maybe we can do a live show one time. That would be cool, where I can actually answer questions live. That would be great. But I'm going to get going. So have a nice day, guys. See you later. All right? And gals. And whoever else is out there. I mean, there could be animals listening. Who knows? All right? I don't want to just make it a guy-girl thing. Whoever's listening. I love you all. Okay? Take care. Bob Ross, live forever.